Today on Variant, we're counting down the top 10 Iron Man armors. Welcome to Variant, where we love comics more than the amount of armors Tony Stark has. I'm your host, Arris. Before I get into today's episode, guess what time it is, guys? Giveaway time. 2 winners will get the awesome Dark Horse #1's trade paperback, which just hit shelves this month. The trade features 8 #1 issues from some of Dark Horse's best titles, such as Hellboy, Lady Killer, The Umbrella Academy, Black Hammer, and more. The grand prize winner will get the Dark Horse #1's trade paperback, as well as several other trade paperbacks, like Volume 1 of Hellboy, Black Hammer, Umbrella Academy, Lady Killer, Department H, and more. All you have to do to enter is follow our Variant Twitter account and tweet the link of today's episode using the hashtag #VariantDarkHorse. You could say whatever you want in your tweet, but you have to use the hashtag #VariantDarkHorse, and you have to be following our Variant Twitter account. You have from today, March 29th, till Wednesday, April 5th at midnight Central Standard Time to enter, at which point we'll announce the winners on the Variant Twitter account. So happy tweeting, friends! As for today's episode, I don't need to tell you guys, I'm pretty freaking excited about this summer's Spider-Man Homecoming movie, and we're of course going to be doing several Spider-Man themed episodes around its release. But with Iron Man playing a significant role in the movie, I figured why not get a head start on things with Tony Stark's top 10 armors. There is a crap ton to choose from, but like many of these lists, the selection and order of the armors are based on my personal favorites and those that have the strongest features. So let's get into it. Kicking us off at number 10 is the Silver Centurion armor. This armor made its first appearance in Iron Man issue 200 and was originally designed for Rhodey. But when Rhodey became sick, causing him to go on a rampage, Tony was forced to don the suit himself in order to stop his friend and get him help. The Silver Centurion was actually one of the first major alterations to Iron Man's suit since Steve Ditko's original design. And while the Silver Centurion armor wasn't long-lived, the armor became a fan favorite, with a version of it even making an appearance in Iron Man 3. At number 9 is the Stealth Armor, which first appeared in Iron Man issue 152. This suit is all about concealment and allows Tony to approach heavily guarded areas completely undetected. Like when he used it to infiltrate Heaven's Hand Fortress in Germany or Soviet airspace during the first Armor Wars. Overall, this armor doesn't carry many weapons to make room for the stealth technology. The Stealth Armor also has quite a bit of nostalgia for me. In fact, I used to own the Marvel Legends Series 1 action figure of this armor, which I ended up selling for a nice chunk of change because it was an extremely rare figure. Bittersweet, my friends. Coming in at the number 8 spot is the God Killer armor, aka Mark III Space Armor. Tony Stark created this armor after he joined the Guardians of the Galaxy. As the name implies, it gives him the ability to travel through space without complications. Another cool feature is that the God Killer armor is powered by numerous repulsor tech cores and can fly through space at warp speed. It's also equipped with an AI system called Pepper, which has the ability to take control of the suit in case of an emergency. Similar to the modular suit, this armor allows Tony to attach/detach different kinds of modules to alter the suit as needed. And let's not forget, the design of the armor, especially the helmet, just looks really cool. At number 7 is the Bleeding Edge armor. This armor first appeared in Invincible Iron Man issue 25 and was created as an upgrade of the Extremis armor. The armor is made up of mentally controlled nanomachines kept inside Tony's body that, when called upon, form into the Iron Man armor over his skin, including all the weapons and defenses. Which is just really cool, but the US government ordered Reed Richards to remove and reverse engineer the original version of this armor from Tony's body after a situation with the Mandarin that caused concern with his ability to pilot the suit. But sometime later, Stark developed a more advanced version of the armor that isn't based on nanotechnology, but kept the same design, weapons, and functions. To sum it up, the Bleeding Edge armor allows Tony to mentally change into Iron Man at will, and that's just ridiculous. Not to mention, the name just sounds really cool. Landing at number 6 is the War Machine armor. This destructive beast made its first appearance in Iron Man issue 281. Plain and simple, the armor is just brute force. I mean, just look at that thing. The arsenal reads like a warfare wish list. It has repulsors, a twin chain gun, laser blade, a box rocket launcher, a pulse cannon, wrist-mounted flamethrower, and a unibeam, which was later added by Rhodes after it became his armor. And that's just to name a few. Needless to say, the War Machine armor is appropriately named, as it's designed for absolute destruction. In fact, this armor was responsible for this amazing scene from Iron Man 2. Come on, that's still one of the best scenes, hands down, in the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it gives War Machine a solid spot on this list. Making its way into my top 5 is the Thorbuster armor. This armor first appeared in Iron Man Volume 3, Issue 34, and as you may have guessed, was designed for fighting Thor. A very unique feature of this suit is that it's powered by an Asgardian crystal charged with immense energy. Thor had originally given Stark the crystal to study in the hope that it could serve as a safer, cleaner energy source for Earth. But during a confrontation with the God of Thunder Thor, he used it to help create the Thorbuster armor. Not surprisingly, Thor wasn't too happy that Tony turned his gift from the gods into a weapon, but the Asgardian crystal that empowers the armor allows it to absorb and manipulate Asgardian energy, effectively giving Iron Man Odin Force. It was even able to stop Mjolnir in mid-flight, leaving Thor surprised by how powerful the armor was. I'd say for that reason alone, this armor deserves its place on this list. At number 4 is the Modular armor, which made its first appearance in Iron Man issue 300. I've always loved how freaking awesome this armor looks. I'm even wearing it on my t-shirt. It's also the armor he wore in the '96 Iron Man cartoon, which was another one of my favorite cartoons as a kid. Do you guys remember that series? If not, let me help you out. Man, I love that cartoon. Not only does the armor look cool, but as a modular component system rather than a fully integrated suit, its functions are amazing. Each individual part of the suit, such as the helmet, boots, gloves, etc., were capable of having different features. There was also plug-in points for various modules with the capability to adapt multiple weapons and situation-specific tools. Iron Man used this armor for quite some time in the comics, and in more recent years, Tony actually went back to this concept, building a new suit that allows him to adapt technology from many of his various specialty suits to prepare for any situation. How very Batman-like of him. Slamming down at number 3 is none other than the Hulkbuster armor. This is hands down one of Iron Man's most popular and coolest specialty armors, and one that I've talked about a lot on the show. The Hulkbuster armor made its first appearance in Iron Man issue 304 and was of course designed to take on the Hulk. And if you're planning to go toe-to-toe with the Green Goliath, you've got to have much heavier defenses. So in many ways, the Hulkbuster armor is closer to a mech suit than Iron Man's typical, more maneuverable armors. The Hulkbuster armor has been used several times in the comics and was prominently used in the World War Hulk storyline. The armor also made its big screen debut in Avengers Age of Ultron, which is so beautiful, I just get emotional thinking about it. But if you want to know more about the Hulkbuster armor, we get into just that in this episode here. Rounding things out at number 2 is the incredibly cool Extremis armor. It made its debut in Iron Man Volume 4, Issue 5, and without it, we wouldn't have gotten our number 7 pick, the Bleeding Edge armor. The Extremis armor was just an awesome reimagining of how Tony Stark could use his armors, but also marked one of the biggest fundamental changes to Iron Man's armors ever. When Tony is forced to take a bioserum called Extremis to try to heal himself from serious injuries, the virus fuses Tony with his suit. Literally. The gold undersuit was made of nanites that were stored inside of Tony's bones when not in use. When activated, it seeped out through his pores, bonding with his skin and allowing him to interface with the red external pieces. Eventually, the US government, who was being manipulated by Justin Hammer, forced him to relinquish the technology, completely removing it from his body. The suit also looks amazing. I've always been a fan of how streamlined and smooth it looks, which is why I think it edges out the Bleeding Edge armor. No pun intended. A lie that was totally intended. They both essentially have much of the same functionality, but I think the Extremis is a cooler overall design. And landing at the number 1 spot is the classic Iron Man armor, also known as Model 2 armor. It first appeared in Tales of Suspense issue 48, and as I mentioned earlier, was designed by the great Steve Ditko. It's no exaggeration to say that this armor changed everything for Iron Man. With it, Ditko took Iron Man from a bulky man in an iron robot-looking armor to a cross between a hot rod and a knight in shining armor. The initial version of the armor had some cheesy upgrades, such as roller skates in the feet, but those were soon replaced with all sorts of cool and powerful new toys. The armor still informs almost every new look and upgrade that the character has taken on ever since, easily giving it the top spot on this list. They say you can't beat a classic, and I guess sometimes it's true. Those are my favorites, but what's your list? Let us know how you would rank the Iron Man armors, as well as any other requests or suggestions in the comment section down below. Us guys know how important a good razor is. Well, my friends, DollarShaveClub.com delivers high quality razors right to your front doorstep. And if you go to DollarShaveClub.com/variant or click the link in the description below, you'll get a 1-month trial of any razor for just $1. I know, that's crazy talk, right? $1. You also get to pick out what kind of blades you want. Personally, I like the executive razor, but you guys could pick whatever you want. And they just don't have blades. They also have Dr. Carver's shave butter, which is awesome, body cleanser, shampoo, and a bunch more stuff. You definitely have to check it out for yourself. Just go to dollarshaveclub.com/variant or click the link in the description and get a 1-month trial of any razor for just $1. There's no catch, hidden fees, or commitments, and you can cancel whenever the heck you want. So what are you guys waiting for? Go get a razor and shave your face, even if you have a beard like me, because even though I have a beard, I gotta shave this and this. So get a razor, my friends. First up for Wednesday, March 28th, we have Dark Knight 3: The Master Race Issue 8. Baal's Kryptonian army has invaded Themyscira, and Wonder Woman and the Amazons will show them why that was a big mistake. Here we have Titans Annual 1. When Dick, Wally, Donna, and Garth awaken in an unfamiliar place, they find themselves face to face with their mentors, Batman, Flash, Wonder Woman, and Aquaman. And finally, we have Man-Thing Issue 2. The Marvel monster has his own series once again, and it's being written by Goosebumps writer R.L. Stine, which has me curious enough to read this title. And just like that, that's going to bring another episode of Variant to a close. But remember, if you like the show, be sure to hit the subscribe button and then the little bell next to it so you're notified every time we upload a new video. But as always, you can like our Variant Facebook page to keep up with the show and all things comic related. You can also follow Variant on Twitter at Variant Comics or me on Twitter at Arris_Quinones. But I'll see you guys next week when I talk about all things comics. First appeared in Invisible Iron Man issue 25. I've always loved how freaking awesome this armor looks. Good job. Immense power.